Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you've tuned into another live edition of the Locker Gnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short. It's your daily dose of not just the news, but answers that you can use. This first part of TLDR is free for everybody. I like free stuff. In fact, today I tried to give away 10 free EA account 1 month redeem codes for Xbox Live. Some of us are going to be able to play Star Wars Battlefront starting tomorrow if you have access, and I'm giving some away. Some of you are actually still paying attention, and I believe a couple of them are still up for grabs. So hopefully you're not too late. There's some free stuff, and I don't know if you caught it, but I also retweeted a tweet from Sideshow Chicky. She's giving away an R2-D2 Sideshow collectible. This is worth like around $300, so even if you're not a collector, it's still valuable. And she even said, hey, if someone retweets your tweet, then there's a possibility I'll give them an R2-D2 too. So it's like 2 giveaways for the price of none. So when I tell you to follow me on social and that I'm doing something every single day, I really truly mean it. But you got to pay attention. And that's easy to do, really, for the most part. Anyway, the first part of TLDR is free. Back to that. The second part and third part are just for patrons. You can become a patron. Head over to chrispirillo.com for more information. All sorts of bonuses, including sneak peeks and reviews and things that I don't normally talk about with everybody. That's really the bottom line. The AMA and the tech news views in TLDR are just for the patrons. So sign up to become a patron. Support me directly. I'll give you more. What else do you need to know? Apart from, what is my budget for tech, toys, and tools? And many of you have heard me talk about tech before and pretty much put it within the category of tools. But I look at tech and tools not just as one and the same, but also as serving a specific purpose. When I see technology sitting on a shelf or looking at it online, I think, is that really different from what I have now? Or is it going to solve a problem that I'm having? Or is it going to make my life better in general? And I have to weigh that against the cost. And it's not always about getting the cheapest gadget. It's not always about getting the most expensive gadget. It's about finding something that's going to serve a need. And for the most part, I would say that most tech out there is not a primary driver of the thing that you're buying. For example, you don't buy a smartphone because of tech. You buy it because it's a smartphone. Tech just happens to be the thing that drives it. Or a tool. You buy it because you need it to fill a purpose. So the budget is very often contingent on the need, the project. Is there something that is going to make this so much better for you based on your usage patterns? And then again, are you going to get $10 out of the gadget that you spent $10 on? Does it make your life better? And to me, that's the question I always have to ask myself when it comes to buying tech. And this is why I don't surround myself with all the latest tech, because it would just pile up. And what's the point of having 5 smartphones when you're only using one? Do you feel me? Or, for example, here is a piece of technology that I got years ago, a tool that was supposed to make my life better, and then it broke. It no longer works, even when I try to make it work with batteries and whatnot. It's a tool that would allow me to measure with tape. Remember tape? I need to measure my new iPad screen because it's going to be here in a couple of days. And then I'll be unboxing it live for everybody. No, that's not, I already know what the iPad Pro screen resolution, size, etc. happens to be. I'm trying to tell you that life would have been easier if I would have been able to shoot out that tape without necessarily pulling it out. But was it worth spending money on? Well, it broke. Like a lot of tech. Technology was not designed to be lasting forever. So again, you've got to think, is the thing that I'm wanting to buy going to fit within the grand scheme of my life, or is it just going to sit there and collect dust? And I found that as much as I wanted, let's just say, measuring tape, and this is just one tool that has tech integrated, I wanted it because I figured, oh, that's kind of cool, it's neat, and that way I can just stand in one position and then shoot the tape out that direction. It doesn't shoot out fast, by the way, when it works. It goes out slowly. It's not going to injure anybody, including myself. There's a reason I try to stay away from sharp objects. So not just because I'm on my second cup of coffee. Just got this mug today, as a matter of fact. So the idea behind having a piece of tech isn't just the excitement of it. It's tech, therefore excitement. No. What's the point of stacking tech upon tech if you can't use it all? It's the same thing with tools. Now, tools can be technology oriented or not, right? I mean, if you get a screwdriver set, and I recommend everybody get a precision screwdriver set. Absolutely. If you get no other screwdriver set, or if you don't get a screwdriver with little bits that you can replace, so that you only have like one tool that you could put all the accessories into instead of having a whole set of screwdrivers taking up space, precision screwdrivers are very recommended. And they're very affordable too, right? And they're not prone to breaking. They're usually pretty cheap. So the budget for a set of screwdrivers that you could use ad infinitum, that you never have to really worry about, unless of course you're applying too much torque, or they're very weak in terms of structure and they snap on you, at which point be careful, because those things can be very, very sharp. It's a good investment, spending $10 on a precision screwdriver set, because you only have to buy it once instead of buying it over and over and over and over again. Tech is different, because tech is in that realm of technology. Let's say, okay, we're done with the measuring tape. Batteries, external batteries. So I am lucky enough to get review units on a regular basis. I am lucky enough. And I talked about how to get, review units for free. I talked about that last week, if you're not aware of that. So I don't really want to tell you how to do it now, because I've kind of already told you. You can listen to that separately. So in terms of a tool that's also tech, I think, well, what am I going to need out of it, right? Do I need 15 external battery packs? Not necessarily, because A, I don't have 15 devices to charge, and B, that's just going to take up space. Right? And it's going to cost you more than you're going to get out of it. And that does not mean that you shouldn't spend money on tech. I believe that it's just the opposite. You should absolutely budget for experiences that are going to make your life better. And you know what? If you can save an hour of your time by spending $100 more or $10 more or that much more, whatever that number happens to be, because remember, it's relative. I've wasted money on a $1 gadget, and I've probably gotten more than enough value from a gadget that was worth 100 times as much, $100. So, something that's overpriced is relative. If, let's say for argument's sake, the capacity of this external battery was only 3,000 milliamp hours, which it's not. I believe this is, 20,100 milliamp hours on this thing. So it could power anything and everything you could possibly plug into it. That's great. It's future-proofed, right? Imagine if this was just, a fraction of that value, and I spend $50 on it. Throwing that number out there just to be relative. Or I could get a higher capacity battery that could charge even more, charge even longer, and keep me going that much longer for $10 more. Right? Is it worth? And again, I don't know the exact price. I'm not looking it up, but I'm trying to talk you through a situation where by not spending more, you could be hurting yourself. Because what's your time worth? Would you rather find yourself trapped within a situation where you could have used that much more, and you had the extra to spend, instead of having to buy a second battery at $20? And then you got two things you got to take care of, two pieces of tech, two tools to take care of. And it cost you more in the long run. Or let's say you bought a cheapy one and it breaks. So not only did you waste money on a piece of junk, but you have to spend time to find a replacement, and to spend even more money than it would have cost you if you would have purchased a better tool outright. So budget isn't always just about buying the cheapest thing. It's about finding the right tech or the right tool for the job, and keeping yourself from giving yourself a better life is not a good way of going either. What do I mean when I say that? Some people see a solution that would save them 8 hours, but they're not willing to spend $10 on that. How much is your time worth? I don't. Let me see if I can make it more simple for me. Math is not my strong suit, but I understand the value of relativity. Okay, let's just say of a tool that, just going to throw out raw numbers. For $10, it can save you 10 hours of your time. Just outright. In your entire life, it can save you 10 hours time. That breaks down to you valuing your time at $1 an hour. Yikes. You got to think about that. How much time is it going to save you? It's not just about making your life better, but giving you time back. Giving you, a freer opportunity. Can I even say it? I just did say that, as a matter of fact, or tried to say it. Freedom. Technology is a gateway to freedom, so long as you don't have too much of it, because tech breaks, and it's in constant need of upgrading, even when you don't think it. Some people whine and claim that it's planned obsolescence. No, it's just a lot of tech gets thrown together, and it tends to be a waste of money if you don't do your research or you buy cheap stuff. I bought cheap stuff. But it served a purpose. I am not likely going to be replacing this little tool that was supposed to be driven by tech anytime soon. I like tools. I appreciate tech for what it brings me. But I budget according to how much time is it going to save, and not necessarily buying the high end, not necessarily getting a hold of something that's going to more than fulfill my needs, but knowing what it is that I need, knowing how much I'm going to have to outlay, and what is that going to translate as over time. Am I going to spend $300 on something that could bring me amazingness in terms of what that tech or that tool could solve? Well, not if a product that is a third that price comes along, not just on sale, but it's ample. It does everything I need it to do, because I'm not going to see the benefit of using another feature. That's why it's very, very wrong for, I'm not saying, okay, let me try that again. Disingenuous is not the right word either. I will say this. Give me this for a moment. And thank you to all my patrons watching live. I think you understand the process in my mind as I talk through these situations. They're very general, but these should apply to you specifically. You got to think about this. Don't find yourself in a situation where you buy technology based on features alone. Don't. No. Wrong. Bad. It's not about specs. Wrong. Bad. No. Because what's the point of a spec if you're never going to touch it? What's the point of having that feature for a widget if you're never going to use it? You're effectively, potentially wasting money on a tool or a piece of technology that isn't going to make you any happier than maybe a model that wasn't as quote-unquote full-featured. Because if the feature that you're buying into is a feature that, well, maybe at some point I'll use it, by the time you're ready to use it, there's a new model out. Or the tech is dead because tech breaks all the freaking time. Why do you think tech support exists, people? Or tool support? Tech, tools, they're kind of in the same category for me. Very rarely does tech cross over into toys. And there are exceptions to the rule, like the Thinkway Darth Vader. Jedi loves that thing. Loves it. And I'm really worried about what's going to happen when it no longer works. That's what happens. I mean, yes, you can replace batteries, but inevitably something's going to break. It's a great toy. I don't know if I would have necessarily purchased it outright, because it's not that I don't like Darth Vader. It's not that I don't like toys. I love toys. Love them. I love Darth Vader collectibles. I got this mug today for like $10. Got this ornament today, also on sale. This was $8. Got this block of wood. I find your lack of cheer disturbing. Very, very cheap. Very, very cheap in terms of its value to me. And is this going to break at any point in the future? No. Is it likely to lose value as a collectible? Probably not. It's not usually what happens. It's just the opposite. This is not really a toy, though, but it is beautiful. You got to admit. That tech toy back there, I wouldn't have necessarily spent $100 on without thinking about it to an extreme degree. So that's why I was grateful I got it as a review unit, which, again, I talked about how to get that free stuff in an earlier, broadcast, in an episode. So I budget for toys according to how much am I going to get out of it. Like, am I really going to enjoy this? Will it find a place? And I'm far less inclined to get things that are larger, like that. I would consider that somewhat larger. Just please ignore the 48-inch Vader that I've got here in the play shop in the entrance. I like the larger objects, but usually larger objects cost more. Just like electronic toys usually cost more. And I don't know if I necessarily see as much value in buying into something that I know inevitably is going to break or is going to introduce a concern or a problem. And usually the involvement of tech is like inviting disaster. Like, it really is. But the nice thing about tech toys, unlike, let's just say for argument's sake, this iPad mini, which I'm getting ready to sell. This is an iPad mini, getting ready to sell it because, that's how I get new electronics that I have to buy. I sell my old stuff, which I think I got this courtesy of one of the app services because you could exchange points and they were doing some kind of giveaway. Oh, speaking of, that's a great way. In case you don't have the budget, in case you're one of those that's like, well, I don't have any money. Well, you can actually earn the ability to get tech, toys, and tools. Go.tagjag.com/free points and go.tagjag.com/free apps. Never worry about the lack of budget again because you can earn it. What do you think? Everything's going to be handed to you for free? What do you think this is? The old internet? Because see, the new internet, it doesn't work that way, even if I can't say the word internet the second time in a row. Anyway, this break, let's just say this breaks. It's a piece of glass with some metal and a logo. It doesn't look like anything. This is not enjoyable to look at. It's not collectible, really. Maybe you collect old tech, but it's useless because it's a tool. It's a piece of tech. It's not. But if that breaks, it still looks good. I can still move the arm around and stuff. Wave it around when it's on. See, even if I do that and it breaks, I'm not too worried about it. Watch. See, I gotta wait for him to quit breathing, which may not happen anytime soon. Okay, come on, Vader, you're supposed to kick in. Maybe I need tech support with my Vader. There we go. So I can swing his lightsaber around, and it looks good, and it looks awesome. And this is tech and toys, not a tool, apart from the person controlling the Vader. But even if it stops working, it's still got value. It still looks good. He looks good. I can pose him. I can stick him around if I find a place to stick him. I'm pretty sure I know where many of you are thinking I can stick that. You budget according to the value that you place on tech, toys, and tools. You can earn it. You can build that budget for yourself if you know a product or service is going to benefit you in some way, shape, or form. Does that toy benefit me? Oh, yeah, it's a toy. I enjoy looking at it. Who doesn't? I mean, the day you stop playing with toys is the day that you really need to get in touch with your inner adult, unless you are still a kid. Oh, I'm out of coffee. I got the grounds. Wow, that was pretty bitter. So I budget that way, talking through the experiences, because this was the question that was asked. Like, how do you budget for all this stuff? How do you get all this stuff? Well, I've talked about it now. I've explained it. Or at least I thought I explained it best I possibly can. I love this stuff. You're never going to see life without tech, without tools, or without toys. You got to have all of them. You have to. Fun and functionality. That's life. And budget to make your life better. Scrimp and save or earn. Earn for free. Go.tagjag.com/free apps and go.tagjag.com/free points. Don't sit there and say that you can't, because you can. It's up to you, though. You got to make an effort. I hate to say it. I have to explain this seemingly to a lot of people, but as much as we're very driven by our own goals, the universe does not revolve around me. Nor does it revolve around you or anybody, right? You've got to make things happen. You're responsible for yourself. You and you alone. That's empowering. I believe that. But I believe the power of the individual. So if you feel that your budget's not big enough to get the things that you want, what are you going to do to change that? Because it's your responsibility, nobody else's. I realize that's a very Chris Pirillo thing to say. That almost sounds like a tweet, but I don't think I could really get it compacted into 140 characters. Thank you for asking the question. Very happy to answer it. I've got to move on to tech questions specifically now that I've talked about a series of tools and experiences and whatnot. We do have a few tech questions on stage for the AMA portion of TLDR now. Then, can't wait to talk about the tech news after that. I do love talking about that with y'all. It's a lot of fun with the live chat. So thank you for joining. You could listen to the full TLDR if you became a patron. You could see the whole thing. And of course, you Get everything Chris Pirillo and then some. But, I'm reserving a lot of that tech talk specifically for the people who are backing me along our current crowdfunding campaign, courtesy of ChrisPirillo.com. Today's free podcast highlight was brought to you by all of my active patrons from ChrisPirillo.com. If you want access to the full TLDR episodes, both audio, video, past, present, and future, which can be up to an hour long or longer, with even more tech insight from me every weekday, plus other bonus content without ads, and support me at the same time, you can sign up to become one of my supernomies too. This is just a brief taste of what I'm producing for you daily. Again, get more through ChrisPirillo.com.